Hello everybody, Richard here, storyteller to the libraries. So let me take you back to that world of story. Sitting on the grass, the storyteller is coming. And he sits down. He's wearing sort of wading boots. Maybe he'd been in the river or something, I don't know. But he looks around and says, well, let's go back to that valley with the river that goes into the sea. And there, a great tower. And outside that tower, the beach with the waves running up it. Standing on that beach, a giant and a giantess. And on their shoulders, a princess with a mouse in her pocket, and the ash boy holding a cat. And they start to wade out to sea. Oh, says the giantess, it's really bracing when the wind blows like this, isn't it? Really does you good. Oh, yes, says the giant. I've got to keep a watch, though. This is the weather for shipwrecks. Oh, he's so proud of what he does. Tell him why you do it. Go on, tell him why you do it. Well, says the giant, standing waist deep in the ocean water. Well, a long time ago, before I met her, lived in that tower on my own. One day there was a shipwreck. There was a man. Turned out he was a king. And he was trying to get home too, just like you lot. Well, I helped him out. Got his boat out of the water. Set him on his way. And from then on, it's like I have a commission from the king to take care of the waters. He's so proud, you know, he's so proud of what he does. Yes, says the giant. But it's not easy, you know. It's not just the storms. I mean, those islands over there. You wouldn't want to be washed up on most of those, I'm telling you. I mean, like that one there, he says, wading out more deeply into the ocean. That one there, I mean, they're a bit like us, but they live in caves. Caves, says the giantess. Can you imagine it? So primitive. Yeah, they're not very nice, says the giant. So we don't really go there. You know. Well, and anyway, that one there, the one further along, there's a witch who lives there. She turns people into animals if they happen to land there. I mean, nothing wrong with being an animal, of course, but you know what I mean. I mean, you wouldn't want to go there. And they wade on further, and the sea is becoming choppy. Ah, well, now that one there, says the giant. That one, oh, you can't get a word out of them there because they just lie there all day eating some kind of a leaf, lotus they call it. Yes, says the giantess. Can't get a word out of them, waste of time. That one there, further along, says the giant, that's where I got my bag of wind. Yes. Still got it here, he says, patting his pocket, although it's underwater by now. Comes in handy sometimes. That one there, says the giantess. Now that one, there's a woman who lives on that one. Recluse, that's what she is. You can't get her to say a word. She spends all her time just weaving and weaving and weaving. Don't know what she's doing there. Very sad, very sad. And now the giants have waded so far into the ocean that it's coming up to their necks. The princess and the ash boy look at one another and begin to climb up onto the giants' heads. The ash boy holds the cat, and the cat is muttering, I can't swim, I can't swim, I can't swim, you know. The princess pulls up her feet, which are still bare. Her bare feet, she pulls them up. The wind is blowing. The waves are striking the chests of the giants and sending up spray. The giant says, don't like the look of this storm. I think we're going to have to find somewhere to sit it out, you know. Don't worry, though. Don't worry. We'll be all right. Let's go over there, says the giantess. That one over there with the woman, the weaving one, she won't bother us. So now they begin to wade, and the giant is leaning into the swell and striding along, and the water is coming up to their chins. The princess is looking around. She sees the island getting nearer, a white sandy beach, grove of olive trees, an outcrop of rock. And they wade, and the water begins to go down as they get nearer. And then they stomp onto the beach and sit down. Oh, says the giantess, that's much better. Take the weight off your feet. She reaches out for a fruit tree, pulls it out of the rock. Have something to eat. Go on, have something to eat. And the ash boy and the princess, the cat and the mouse in her pocket, they jump off the giant's bodies and land on the beach. The giants sit there, gazing out to sea. Good time for a picnic, isn't it? Go on, you go and have a look around. And so they do. They go and look around the island. The princess and the ash boy and the cat running alongside them. They pass through a grove of olive trees and find a hut. They go up to the hut, and from inside they can hear a sound, a rattling. And they push the door open. And there, inside, is a woman with a loom, weaving with the rattling and the padding and the striking and the clicking as she weaves on and on, on and on. She ignores them. And they go and stand next to her, and the ash boy says, "What are you doing?" She weaves on. And down at her feet, there's a great spilling mass of cloth, woven. And it gleams and glistens with different colours. And the ash boy turns and pulls out some of the loose bits and looks at them and says, "Wait a moment, I recognise that. That's a forest. Where's that?" And the cat looks too and says, "That forest looks very much like the forest of despair." And the woman's fingers stop for a moment and then continue, clicking and clacking, weaving on and on. And the princess looks, and she pulls another loop of the woven cloth. And she says, "Look, I recognise that mountain. That's the mountain in which I found a library." And the woman's fingers stop. And then she clicks and clacks on. And then the ash boy says, "Look, that's the sand I walked through. She's how did she know that? And you know what I did when I walked through that sand? I passed a whole load of people who were just hanging around, and I kept on walking, and you know what I found in the sand? I found 2 shoes in the sand. And look, let me show you." And he reaches inside his pocket. And he pulls out the 2 shoes that he found at the bottom of a dune as he struggled through the desert so long ago. And he says, "Look, the pattern's the same." And the woman looks up. Her face is pale. And then she looks down again and she says, you? Yes, says the storyteller. Who is anyone? Who is anyone? If you come back tomorrow, I'll tell you what they say. And I will too. So until then, goodbye.